I mean, I can't control that. My metabolism is a little slower, so I have to watch what I eat now a little bit
No,
more.
you don't. I like that slow metabolism because it adds some extra things that you did not have back in the day, and that
Okay.
means you've changed.
Okay. I wasn't gonna say nothing about that little gray hair over there, but
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sip and Share. Sip, sip, and share. Let's go. Sip and share. Sip, sip, and share. Let's go.
cut. Sip and share. Sip, sip and share. Sip and share. Sip, sip and share. Subscribe, comment. Who you like the best?
This is a competitive podcast now.
I mean, we're trying to see what song to go with.
Who
We're
you
trying
like?
to see what
Oh,
song
you
to
said
go
who
with.
you like the best.
Oh yeah, like whose song, not who you like the best.
You know you
whose
would.
song
You know
like
you
the
would get
best.
way more votes anyway.
Ain't nobody better be commenting that they like you.
Since
Eric.
since you, a lot of people like me, and since you jumping the gun, what did you just take a sip of?
Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. Today we have blackberry molasses.
No, we don't. We have
Wait.
some black raspberry tea, people.
I always call it that. I always call that one this. I don't believe nobody told us what blackberry molasses is yet. If y'all have not explained to us what is blackberry molasses, what is
I told
Tupac
y'all they didn't answer
referring to?
because I said it's molasses with blackberry flavoring.
I ain't had nothing but grandma molasses before.
Yeah, but Grandma forgot to
With
put
some
blackberry.
salmon and some biscuit. Oh my God, baby, go to the stove and cook.
BRB.
BRB. Or poop symbol. Anyway, anyhow, if you don't get in on the jokes, you got to go back and watch
the
some of our
previous
episodes,
man.
right? So today, we want to talk to y'all about transition.
Transition.
As people.
Point A to
like,
B.
You done? You my hype man today or something?
No, I was
like,
trying.
what's going on?
I was trying to serve as your transition.
Okay.
Ba-doots.
You remember when you had to learn transitions in school? Therefore,
Speaking of
but,
transition.
and all of that. Remember that?
Speaking of transition, over to you.
All right, babe. So back to Letitia Sims. On today's broadcast, we will be talking to you about transition.
Oh, thank
As a
you.
person, do you feel that you have changed from who you were back in the day to who you are now? What pieces of your character have remained? Which things have gone away and dissipated as you have grown to become a young man or young woman? I use young because I still am.
I like how your voice transitioned from a low octave to such a high octave
that
in a
hurt.
short period.
Let me drink.
So listen, I will tackle that question first while you all think about the transition that you have made from your earlier days or your earlier years until today. That may be a longer period of time for some of us or some of you and a shorter period of time for some of you. So as I do some reflection, right, I reverse engineer this thing and I look in the mirror and I see who I am now. I'll flat out tell you bottom line up front. I am not looking at the same person that I was looking at, say, during my high school years, right? Who? So,
I'm not married.
well, you actually married the high school version of me. Well, you dated the high school version
Yeah.
of me, so you knew who I was.
Oh, I didn't know everything. Let's not go there.
Well,
but,
you knew
but that's another topic.
You knew
y'all.
the
Another
essence of me, and you know who I am now. You definitely know me now better than anybody in the entire
Yes.
world. You know me way better than anybody in the world. So when I walk that thing back, I can tell you that I am not the same person that I was way back then, and I'm sure I'm not the same person you met. So I would like to hope that the answer would be, if someone were to ask, "Hey, you, are you the same person that you were back in the day?" I'd like to hope not, right? Because we're supposed to progress and move on as time goes on. Early on in my life, I was undisciplined. I did not
still
necessarily
are.
have the direction that I needed to go into the direction that I was supposed to be going. I was not grounded as spiritually as I am today.
Okay.
I did not necessarily have the relationship with my God as I have today. I wasn't really true into how to raise a family as I was back then. So those are the things that jump out at me right away that I have definitely improved in those areas. And I think that's my starting point. What I have improved in, more educated, have a lot more knowledge, have a lot more experience, have a lot more. I'm kind of like one of those, when those skillets, you know, the more you use it, you get more seasoning and stuff like that. And you just become better. Stuff just doesn't taste the same when you get a brand new skillet. See, I'm seasoned, man. That's how
Take a bath.
you don't wash a seasoned skillet. What
You messed mine up, and you remember that. But TD Jakes mentioned one time, one of the things a lot of us, especially if you don't live in your hometown and you go back and you visit people and maybe some of their ways stayed similar to when they were in the area growing up. And it's like, man, you changed. And TD Jakes be like, he said, I'll be like, thank you. Because if I didn't, I wasn't growing, right?
Right.
And I think that a lot of us, we try to be chameleons upon our environments. It is hard to go back and hang out with high school friends. Now, there are some people that you click with right away, just because, you know, genuine friendships, they are developing over time as well, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying, I think, sometimes I feel like people are in our life for a certain season for a certain reason, right? And then once you have outgrown that particular season with them and you're changing and you're growing and you're growing and you're changing and you try to go back into that season, it does look like you've changed.
Right.
But guys, it's okay. That's a good thing. You are supposed to grow. You don't need to be undisciplined anymore.
Right.
You need to grow spiritually. You need to grow educationally.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I think everyone would answer the question, yeah, I've changed. I'm not the same person I was when I was 18 as opposed to when I'm 40s, right?
How have you changed?
How have I changed? One of the biggest things that stuck out for me, back in the day, there was a lot of labeling. Still is, I guess. And I was labeled much of a tomboy because I like to play basketball. I like to dress similarly to, like, y'all have heard it before, TLC and things like that, the baggy clothes, different things like that. And so I was trying to shield that in a way, like, it made me feel like, okay, well, how do I, you know, act more girly, or how am I more this or more that? I've stepped into understanding, girl, this is you. This is your essence. This is your being. If your style is this, if your way is this, you know, don't let that be a question of your identity of who you are.
Ooh,
so
like that.
I am able to, I love maturing because it makes me grow into saying, this is who I am.
Right.
You like it unapologetically. This is who I am. Now, this is who I am as a respectful person.
Sure.
This is who I am as a knowledgeable person. This is who I am as a caring person. But the essence of me, I don't need to let individuals tell me was status quo.
Yeah,
You know.
I like that. And that kind of reminds me, so I'm going to kind of key in on something you just said, and I'll tie it in here in a second. But one of T.D. Jakes' books that I read, he talked about the wine making process. Crushing is the name of the book. And he started talking about the grape and, you know, how, the vineyards and how it gets processed into wine and so on and so forth. So what you just said drove me to think about that, which leads me to the point of, you know, a grape starts out as it does, but it's still technically a grape in its essence when it gets produced into wine. So when I do my reflection, you know, I initially started off talking about how much I have changed, but there are some parts of me that stayed the same as well, because that is the essence of who I am. When I recall myself being in a younger phase, I know for a fact that I had a big heart. Like, my heart was huge. That was like something that I knew. I just cared about people.
I think everybody's hearts are the same.
Well, not the Grinch. You remember the Grinch had a really small heart?
Oh, yeah.
Boom. See, I'm so witty, boy. I be on it. That's another piece that I kept with me. I kept my wit. I got to be quick, man, because, you know, people be coming at you. You got to, I kept that. But I also kept the fact that, you know, I wanted to take care of people. I had a heart. I didn't have money when I was younger. I used to find little things to wrap up in newspaper just so I can try to make somebody feel good. I think I kept that with me today to try to just take care of people and let people know that they are special. So not necessarily changing. I know I started out by talking like that. Not always changing. Some of those things you will retain. Some of those things that you had back in the day will remain the same, and that
Yeah.
makes you the new you.
Yeah, and I think what you're talking about is your foundation and your moral compass, right?
Right.
So I think that most of us, we have those things that are, poured into us at younger ages, and they do serve as the compass for the navigation of our life, right? So while I'm growing as an individual, I have this particular moral or value or principle to fall back on that grows with me as well, guys. So yeah, while we are changing, there are still yet some things that might remain the same.
That's right.
But those things in themselves are still stretching as well,
Sure.
because you learn more about them too. And I just think, we have to be okay with letting people change.
Yes.
We really have to be okay with that.
Letting ourselves change too.
Yeah. And you letting yourself change. And another, aspect is about the change that you can't control.
Ooh.
You can't control.
Elaborate. Unpack that a little bit.
Certain things. I can't control that my metabolism is a little slower. So, I have to watch what I eat now a little bit more.
No, you don't. I like that slow metabolism because it adds some extra things that you did not have back in the day. And that means you've changed.
Okay. I wasn't going to say nothing about that little gray hair over there, but y'all, why the gray hairs always be like the ones just stick out?
It's not lint, y'all. I want y'all to know it's not lint.
Out. It
does.
Sticks out, and it's like the hardest one to pull out if you want to. But
ooh, that's a good point. Speaking of change, which one do you notice first? The gray hair or the black ones? The gray hair changed, but it stands out more. Think about that.
No, the black one changed into gray hair. I don't know what philosophical meaning he's trying to give you all.
Y'all caught
that.
But
I think we also have to accept the things that are not in our control. Now, I'm not telling you to not take care of yourself by eating right, by exercising, those type of things. But you can't be on the basketball court trying to run with the teenagers and then come home and your ankle hurting and swole, or your finger get popped and you got to go to the emergency room because you're trying to keep up with the youngins.
All of that sounds, some of those almost sound like true stories, but fortunately they're not. You know what?
Yeah.
Change. All I had to do was change how I play on the basketball court, not change playing on the basketball court or not.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can do the same things, but change how you do them.
Yeah. You have to let go of what was and step into what is, guys.
Right.
We were just listening to I don't know if it's Dr. Tony Evans, but Tony
Evans.
I
think it is.
And he mentioned, the rearview mirror is what's in the past, and we've probably heard this before, right? And if we were driving focused on the rearview mirror, then we're gonna have a wreck.
Yep.
You have to focus on your windshield, what's ahead of you.
That's right.
You have to start embracing all of the ways that you are changing, and change for the better, guys. Like make the improvements. If high school Tisha was the same as this Tisha, I ain't made much progress.
Yeah, you wouldn't be sitting on this podcast with me right now.
You wouldn't be sitting with me. You wouldn't be sitting with me.
I wouldn't be sitting on the podcast right now.
You wouldn't be sitting with me. Right?
You're right about it. You're right about it. Listen, change is okay. Appropriate change is okay. Just reflect on who you were with that rearview mirror, because sometimes you got to use it to back out. But once you put that thing in drive and you start going forward, as my wife mentioned, focus on the windshield. That stuff in the past is a good foundation. Some of it you're going to change. Some of it you're going to retain. Some of it you'll get rid of.
Yeah.
It's like a filter. You keep in what you need and filter out what you don't, right? So at the end of the day, change is good. Can be good.
Yeah. And I think what he had said was glance. The rearview mirror is for you to take a glance.
There you go.
Guys.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you look at the yearbooks, don't be like, oh man, I wish my body was snatched like that. And I wish, sometimes of the things that we say to ourselves, it dismisses where we are and how far we've come.
That's right. That's right. So I want to tell you on this broadcast.
Yes, baby.
That I appreciate who you were.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the journey that got you here. And I appreciate who you are now.
Very much so. So you looking for me to say something?
No, I just want you to say thank you.
Thank you so much, baby. That means a lot. And I do, honestly, because as he mentioned, we've been together since high school, off and on a little bit, but since high school. So I have seen you grow from boy to man.
ABC,
Boy to
BBD.
man. Boy to man.
How do I?
And so, you know, we're going to talk about this on another podcast, but if you are in a relationship where you started out very young, you have to be willing to accept the transitions of your partner and grow along with them.
Man.
But I think that's something we need to
I need to write that down. We need to talk about that one, man.
And we'll talk about that one later. But for today, I think that's it, guys. Embrace your change. When somebody tell you you ain't the same, say thank you, because that means I've grown. Hold on to the foundation that you have from your moral compass to be able to navigate your life as it is and as it stands today.
Change is good, folks. You know, when we started this episode, I had a full cup of tea, and now it's empty. It's changed. That philosophy stuff.
I hate when somebody leaves with a good point and then you got to come with some mess. You got to come with some mess. Come on.
Wait.
Come on.
So you just brought up another one. In every bit of mess, there is a message.
But that mess didn't have no message.
Think about that.
That mess didn't have no message.
Think about that.
That mess need to be cleaned up with some tissue.
And even more, my wife told you I love words. If you break down message, there's two words in there: mess and age. There's a mess, but as time goes on, it transitions and changes into a message.
Okay, guys.
I'm on it. This is black tea.
All right, let's go.
This black tea is kicking some game on y'all. Time to go.
Mm-hmm. Sip and share.
Let's go.
Sip.
I ain't even gonna do that front part. Just
sip and share.
I give up. I'm just gonna use your version.
Sip and share.
Let's go. And I'll just say let's go. So you just took over the song.